I had a thought today that a part of myself has been hiding in India. And this thought occurred to me when I was at the building just over here. Ram took me there to watch some of the work that's going on. These ladies are working pouring concrete for the floors. It was mostly a team of women. And I watched them work. They have very good teamwork. I thought it was really interesting the way that they do everything. They're very cooperative and they work together really well. And I got thinking about appreciation and how things are really inexpensive here. And that is also in part because things are considered cheap and common. And I was thinking about how we can see the price of things all the time. And it's easy to say, well, things are cheaper here, things are expensive at home. The reason that things become cheap or expensive is actually more to do with like how much something is appreciated. When something is appreciated, it's valued more. It's considered worth more. Life itself is valued higher in Canada than in India. In India, somebody can get into a car accident and not a single person will help them. Because if you help them, you could get in trouble with the police. It's crazy. It's just like you could have nothing to do with the accident. And just because you went out of your way to help somebody, you might actually end up getting in trouble. So people will avoid helping each other because they don't want to be inconvenienced in that way. And that's just like one small example, but it's crazy because in Canada, I saw a car accident and 40 or 50 people were there immediately. People were checking out how the people in the accident were. People were calling 911. A whole bunch of people were on the phone, talking to the ambulance, talking to the police. Everyone took time away from whatever it was they were relaxing doing to make sure that these other people were okay. And that's just considered completely normal at home. That doesn't happen over here. And the part of myself that's hiding is the part of me that is open and curious and present with new people. I didn't really even realize I was doing this, but the amount of times that somebody stares at me here, and if I'm standing open, I'm looking, and I notice them staring at me, and I look at somebody, and they just keep dead eyes staring at me, it sort of hurts my soul. Like, part of me goes, oh, this person is not happy to be with me. They're not glad to see me. They're just looking at me like I'm weird, and then I feel awkward. And instead of facing that feeling for the, I don't know, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 70% of people will stare at me like that, but maybe 30 or 50% of people will look at me and they'll smile and they'll be curious, or they'll be like wondering what I'm doing, and they'll be happy, they'll be glad to see that I'm there. They're not actually trying to take something from me. They're not just trying to get something from me. And what I was talking about with appreciation and all that is that people don't treat me like they're trying to take advantage of me all the time when I'm in Thailand or when I'm in Canada. But in India, I start to perceive that, or I start to feel that, and then it becomes harder for me to show up as my open and honest and generous self. And so I've been really missing that. I've been having to be kind of always a bit reserved, always a bit guarded, always a bit on edge whenever I go anywhere. And I didn't realize that that's also been affecting how I feel. Like, it affects my mood, it affects how much I want to go out and do things. It hurts. And so I can keep staying withdrawn from the things that are going on that are hard for me to face, or I can just look for a slightly different way to show up in these situations. And I also started thinking about this while I was running. Like yesterday I started to think about this. I was like, you know, I gotta start making weird faces at the people who respond to me as if I'm not even there, as if I'm just like a strange curiosity in a zoo for them to ogle. Ogle means stare at with kind of not very good intentions. And yeah, I'm thinking about this now and I'm going, you know what? I can do that. I could show up and make some weird faces at people who are weird to me. And like, a lot of times it's not even people who are weird to me. It's just about initiation. People are scared. People are afraid. They don't know how to start a conversation with me, how to initiate any kind of interaction with me, so they just default to staring. And actually, there are some people who stare who will not smile back if I smile at them. And then there are some people who will smile back if I smile at them. There are some people who will say something to me before I say something. But actually, if I say something to initiate whatever the interaction is, just a hi, hello, good morning, these kind of things, even in English, even just that, I'll get more positive responses overall. And so I think I'm gonna start to do that more on my runs. And my runs are one of the main times when I go out and I do things. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna face this awkwardness while I'm here. And that's what I was talking about this morning. I made a video where I talked about accepting what is and then embracing the challenge in front of me. That's when I feel most like myself. Okay, I'm in India. Maybe half of people are gonna stare at me and be weird and say nothing. So I can accept that. Now, how am I gonna face that challenge? I wanna face it in a way that feels more satisfying than trying to avoid it. Because yes, it will be easier for me to show up in certain ways when I come back to Canada. But it's not just about showing up when it's easy. If I show up when the challenge is strange and difficult and weird and hard, the way that I show up when it's easier will be that much more natural for me. I was thinking about saying hi to some of the construction workers that I saw at the place today, and that's also what got my mind on this topic. I was thinking, man, I could probably have a cool interaction if I just said hi to some of these women while they're on their break. You know, they'd probably like it if I said hi to them. And I sat there and I thought, and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I kind of want to do something, but I don't know what I want to do. And then I didn't end up doing anything. I didn't end up saying hi to anybody. And it could have been as simple as that. It could have been as simple as just saying hi. And then I had all these thoughts and I was like, oh, the reason I wasn't free to show up and be myself, my normal self, who would go say hi and see what happens, is that I have constantly been hiding while I'm here. And that hiding part of myself has made it harder for me to show up like myself in the way that I want to. And not only here, but also in my relationship with you and with my friends here and in all kinds of situations. So I want to work on that. And I'm glad that I got to think about this today.